the Joshua thing is crazy.
Is that a real conversation?
Jake's a fucking lunatic, and it's probably real. I saw Joshua knock out Francis Ngannou, and the guy was like out cold for 5 minutes. And this is a guy who had never been knocked down, let alone knocked out.
If he steps in the ring with him, and actually a bell rings and there are punches thrown, every bit of Jake Paul is not a real boxer conversation is gone forever.
Tommy Fury didn't hold back when he dropped a shocking claim about the rumored Anthony Joshua versus Jake Paul boxing match, suggesting the fight might actually be fixed.
I think my dad said that AJ could beat him with his, and I completely will back that up. Even if AJ had a broken arm in there, it still wouldn't go past a minute. To be quite honest with you, and as a safety aspect.
According to Fury, if that fight lasts longer than 2 minutes, fans should seriously question what's really going on. In his eyes, there's no way a legitimate clash between a former heavyweight world champion like Joshua and a social media star turned boxer like Jake Paul should go the distance, unless money changes hands behind the scenes. That bold claim is lighting up the boxing world and fueling an already heated debate.
They're talking right now about doing Anthony Joshua, Jake. I know, I saw that. Jake Paul apparently wants that fight. And he agreed to, I think it was 99% to 1, where Joshua gets 99% of the money and he gets 1%.
Jake Paul probably doesn't care about the money.
Well, that's plenty of money. And if he won, oh my God, if he beat Anthony Joshua, good Lord. Good Lord. I mean, that's a big if.
I mean,
Anthony Joshua, Olympic gold medalist, former heavyweight champion of the world. What he did to Francis Ngannou, like, good Lord.
yes.
Do you want that smoke?
Yeah, I just think it's all about the promotion or whatever. That fight's not competitive at all.
Well, it's a dangerous fight.
Yeah.
Because Joshua's going to try to be an example out of him, for sure.
And will.
And will. I mean, Anthony Joshua looks the biggest one-punch KO artist ever.
Yes.
Talks between Joshua and Paul have been gaining traction, and while nothing's been made official yet, the buzz around the potential fight keeps growing. The idea of a YouTuber stepping into the ring with a two-time heavyweight champion has stunned many fans and fighters alike. Tommy Fury, who previously beat Jake Paul in a well-watched Saudi showdown, thinks the whole idea is absurd. To him, the skill gap between Jake and AJ is so massive that it would take something very unnatural or financial for the fight to look even remotely competitive.
At the end of the day, my God, how good does it make me look? He gets beat by Jake Paul. Well, that automatically makes me two-time heavyweight champion of the world, doesn't it? There's no proper way. I've got to laugh about it.
Fury didn't stop at questioning the legitimacy of the matchup. He made it clear that if someone like him was able to outbox Jake Paul, then someone with Joshua's resume should be able to end things in seconds. He joked that AJ wouldn't even need both arms to win and said that unless something fishy was going on, it would be over before most people found their seats. As ridiculous as the matchup might seem to him, Fury couldn't help but laugh, and also point out how it would make him look pretty great if Jake somehow pulled off the impossible against Joshua.
He got his nut boxed off by me a little over 2 years ago, and now all of a sudden, he's talking about fighting Anthony Joshua. It's like, come on. Like, you can't be serious. You can't beat me. I'm not Anthony Joshua, am I? So it's just ludicrous. It really is.
Despite Tommy's harsh take, Jake Paul's confidence hasn't wavered. After spending years brushing off criticism and claims of rigged fights, he's finally had enough. The YouTuber turned boxer has brought in heavyweight legal firepower, hiring Alex Spiro, known for working with Elon Musk, to go after anyone accusing his career of being fake or staged. Paul has made it clear that the days of letting the haters talk are over. Anyone pushing the narrative that his fights aren't real should expect legal action.
Jake just hired a powerhouse attorney to help him take down people who are claiming that his fights are rigged. As you know, they're not. But it does hurt his business and his credibility. And when a guy like Piers Morgan says something like that, who has a massive, massive platform and just throws it out there, now all of a sudden you have other people who are like, oh, it's fake. We're kind of hate magnets and invite a lot of criticism that has objectively provable damages, and you can hold people accountable for those damages, especially when it's unwarranted and unfounded in truth.
Interestingly, not everyone is laughing off Jake's chances. Tyson Fury, Tommy's older brother and former WBC heavyweight champ, actually believes Jake Paul could beat Anthony Joshua, and by knockout no less. Tyson has expressed admiration for Paul's progress and believes he's on the rise. In his opinion, Jake's heavier frame, improved boxing skills, and recent win over an aging Julius Caesar Chavez Jr. show that he's a serious fighter now. Tyson's prediction, though shocking, shouldn't come as too much of a surprise considering his long history of back and forths with Joshua, a fight that has been teased for years but never materialized.
There's been some talk about possibly Joshua using Jake Paul as a tune-up to fight you. What are your thoughts on that?
I don't know about tune-up. I think Jake Paul knocks him out.
Seriously?
Yeah. Yeah.
Why so? What impresses you about Jake Paul?
I just think Jake Paul would knock AJ out. I think AJ's a spam force, and I think Jake Paul's on the rise. I like his new heavyweight look. Bit chubby, bit bulky.
What's even more interesting is that Paul has some serious backing. He's part of the PFL, which signed him in 2023 and gave him a minority stake in the promotion. The PFL is betting big on crossover fights to break into the pay-per-view space and become a true competitor to the UFC. With global partners and billion-dollar funding, they see a potential Paul versus Joshua matchup as a golden opportunity to reach the mainstream in a massive way. But not everyone's convinced. Francis Ngannou, Paul's business partner in the PFL and former UFC heavyweight champion, reacted with skepticism when asked about the fight. Despite being told the talks were serious, Ngannou didn't seem certain it would actually happen. He laughed off the idea and hinted that even if there is money behind it, he's not sure it's a realistic matchup. Still, he acknowledged that if it does go ahead, all eyes will be watching.
What do you think happens if they fight?
What do I think happens? Let's see until they fight, but I'm not sure. I have seen that. I'm not even sure if they are serious though.
They are. They are.
They are?
Yes. Very.
No, come on. You don't believe that, do you?
I do.
You do believe?
I believe they're serious. I don't know if it actually happens, but I do believe there have been serious talks of making it happen. You think it's crazy?
Yeah, I think it's crazy.
Okay.
I think it's crazy. I mean, what's the exact J Paul weight?
His last fight, 200, in 200 range.
Yeah. You know, the first is like, we don't, even if we don't get to the experience level, the weight different and everything, is tough.
Meanwhile, Anthony Joshua is still figuring out his next move after suffering a brutal 5th-round knockout loss to Daniel Dubois in his last outing. Several names have been floated as potential opponents, including Tony Yoka, the 2016 Olympic gold medalist. But despite Yoka's interest in a rumored mega event in Africa, it appears that Jake Paul is leading the race to land the Joshua fight. Promoter Frank Warren, who represents Yoka, admitted that most of the chatter and negotiations are centered around a Paul versus Joshua clash. He said he hasn't been involved in any serious conversations about Yoka fighting AJ, which signals just how seriously the Paul matchup is being considered.
As a boxing nut, obviously it's divided opinion. No doubt it's a huge fight because of a profile, but a lot of people would rather see AJ versus what people would deem to be a more credible boxing opponent.
Yeah, I hear that, but it's not my business. You know, it's up to them what they're going to do. And Jake and Nikita, I'll make it no secret, they're friends, and if they make the fight, I think he takes away a lot of the things that's been said about him, that he doesn't want to fight anybody. He's jumping right into he's jumping into the frying pan and the fire. And it says a lot about him if he's going to do that. I don't know. I mean, I'm hearing all sorts of things are going to happen. We'll see.
Interestingly, there are people encouraging Joshua to take the fight, not just for the spotlight, but for the paycheck. Dillon White, a former opponent of Joshua, said flat out that if the money's right, there's no reason AJ shouldn't go ahead with it. He believes Joshua has already accomplished enough in his career, and that a fight against Paul could be one of his most financially rewarding. In his words, if the numbers make sense, why not take the opportunity?
It's a business, man. Business. If it makes sense and it does numbers, then why not?
So you'd encourage him to take that fight?
He's won the title twice. He's done a lot of fights, so I'm sure he make more money from that fight than he done some of his title fights. So sometimes if he can make some money, man.
Still, the fight continues to divide the boxing world. Amir Khan gave a much more severe outlook. He said the size, power, and experience gap between AJ and Jake Paul is so vast that it could be dangerous. Khan predicted that Joshua would end things in just 1 or 2 rounds and expressed concern that this kind of mismatch could lead to someone getting seriously hurt. To him, it's not just about entertainment, it's about respecting the sport and protecting the athletes.
Amir, what have you made of all the talk gathering? It looked like it's going to happen between AJ and Jake Paul. It's quite crazy, isn't it? Eddie Hearn said he'd give it an 8 out of 10 chance of happening at the moment. So it looks like it could be closing in.
You know what? I think it's a great fight, and I think Joshua sparked him out in like 2 rounds. Really? Yeah. Why do you look surprised when I don't?
I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm just saying.
Come on, bro. You're fighting like one of the best heavyweight fighters in the world against a YouTuber. Like, come on. Like, respect the sport of boxing. And if AJ has to go in there and show these influencers that, listen, you can't fuck about with boxing. You know what I mean? Someone's gonna get hurt badly, and this could be one of the first fights where a fighter gets hurt badly, because if you look at the size difference and the power difference, I mean, bro, there could be brain damages going on there. I mean, AJ could hurt him badly, you know.
Well, when you look at Francis Ngannou, who's one of the most fearsome combat styles there is. I know it's MMA, but we saw what AJ did to Ngannou. So,
and that's why you can't be surprised if AJ's going to do the same to what's it called again? What? Jake Paul. And I think, to be honest with you, I think AJ can fight Jake and his brother at one time and knock him over anyway.
Tyron Woodley, who faced Jake Paul twice and was knocked out in their match, offered a more balanced perspective. While he didn't pick Jake to win, he did say that Paul has enough power to at least hurt Joshua, especially if he lands cleanly. He pointed out that AJ has been knocked out before, and that under the right circumstances, Paul could knock him down. Woodley acknowledged Jake's speed and agility and said that while he might be outmatched in power, he's not without a puncher's chance. He said, if Jake Paul hits Anthony Joshua flush on the face, he can be knocked down. I mean, he can be knocked out too. AJ has been knocked out. I'm not saying Jake's going to win. The fight hasn't even been made yet, so I'm not in a position to pick, but Jake has power. He has the ability that if he hits you, you can be knocked out. Josora took a different stance entirely. He directed his frustration at Eddie Hearn, Joshua's longtime promoter, questioning the wisdom of setting up a fight that could leave Paul seriously injured. Josora, despite liking Paul, warned that if Joshua lands a big shot, the damage could be devastating. His concern was genuine. If Paul gets hurt badly, who takes responsibility?
I'm like, you're trying to make AJ versus Jake Paul, yeah? So if something happens to Jake Paul and AJ smokes him out, yeah, badly, would you be wiping it for the rest of his life? Because he's gonna get hurt.
Oh, hello, Mr. Ethical over here. You know, look, at the end of the day, what do you want?
I don't want to see Jake Paul hurt guy. I like Jake Paul.
Okay, but at the end of the day as well, I do appreciate that we all have to take some kind of responsibility. This guy is a fighter.
Who?
Jake Paul.
Who's he for?
Would you say that Jake Paul is in the top 100 of the cruiserweight division? Let me tell you something now, Derek Josora. Right? And I'm going to end on this because I've got to go.
Go on then.
If you go onto BoxRec, which is an independent evaluation of where people sit in the rankings, there's no governing body, there's no politics. I think you agree that in general, BoxRec is pretty fair. Do you know the fighter that is above or below Jake Paul?
Who?
Senad Gashi. Who you fought?
Adding to the mix, Andy Ruiz Jr., the man who shocked the world by beating Joshua in 2019, shared his thoughts in the matchup as well. Surprisingly, Ruiz thinks Paul might actually have a better shot against AJ than most people realize. He noted that Joshua doesn't handle pressure or clean punches the way he used to, and believes Paul could take advantage if the opportunity presents itself. Ruiz even went as far as to say that a Jake Paul fight might be easier for AJ than someone like Andre Ward, who has also been loosely connected to potential comeback rumors.
You're the first guy to beat Joshua when he was a superstar. You broke the mold, and now Andre Ward calling out Joshua, Jake Paul calling out Joshua. Seems like everybody wants to fight Joshua right now. What do you think about that?
That's crazy. That's exactly what we were just talking about, dude. Everybody wants to fight Anthony Joshua. I think because of the blueprint that he has now, you know, I feel everybody thinks that they could win him, that they could beat him, that he's an easy opponent, that, I don't know, that he can't take hits no more, but he's still a dangerous fighter, you know? He's a heavyweight. I don't know Andre Ward fighting Anthony Joshua. I think that's a hard fight.
Jake Paul?
Sure. Jake Paul, I think that's actually a little better. But, you know, shout out to Jake Paul, man.
So you give Jake
no
Paul,
one's doing it like him.
You give Jake Paul a better chance over Andre Ward? against Joshua?
Probably
Why
because
is that?
he's been active.
He's young.
He's bigger. He's taller. He's a natural heavyweight, you know.
While fans and fighters alike continue to weigh in, the conversation keeps heating up. On one side, you have an influencer turned boxer with a massive following, a growing record, and plenty of belief in himself. On the other, a seasoned heavyweight who's seen it all and fought the best in the world. Whether this ends up being one of the biggest boxing events in history or just another bizarre chapter in the sport's recent evolution remains to be seen. What is clear is that this potential fight between Anthony Joshua and Jake Paul isn't just about boxing, it's about business, entertainment, and spectacle. And while some see it as a circus act, others view it as the next big leap for crossover combat sports. As for whether the matchup would be real, fair, or even safe, that's still up for debate. But if it does happen, one thing's for sure, the entire world will be watching.